free to go. All right, who's your next witness?
Judge, we will call Officer Sarat.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this class will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, help you God? I do.
Okay, you may proceed.
Please state your full name for the record.
My name is Diana Grace Sarat.
How long, where are you employed?
I am at the University of South Florida Police Department.
And how long have you been with the University of South Florida Police Department?
I'm going on 3 years now.
Prior to working at the USF Police Department, what did you do?
I worked in forensics at the Dade City Police Department for approximately 6 or 7 years.
Were you working on June 23rd of 2024?
I was.
Where were you at approximately 4:40 a.m. in the early morning hours of June 23rd of 2024?
I was conducting a traffic stop on North 50th and Fowler Avenue.
What sort of vehicle do you drive back then on June 23rd of 2024?
A marked patrol vehicle.
And that would have lights and sirens, is that correct?
That's correct.
You said that you were doing a traffic stop.
Correct.
Who were you at that location? Were you with other fellow officers with the USF Police Department?
I was with Corporal Adams and Officer Fusco.
What kind of traffic stop were you at around 4:40 a.m. that morning?
It was just for us, a routine traffic stop. I was actually called to assist Officer Fusco on that stop. We had a vehicle that we were almost finished up with it. So we were there, my lights were activated, we were kind of in the median area, and we were getting ready to leave, but my lights were still activated at this time.
How many USF policed vehicles were there?
There was 2 of us at this time.
And when we say USF police vehicles, can you describe how they're marked?
Yeah, they're like any other police vehicle. They say USF on the side. They have the lights on the top of them. There's lights on the back, lights on the front. It's very apparent that they are a police emergency vehicle.
And you said your lights were on, is that correct? They had been activated during that traffic stop.
That's correct.
Is that because you were in the median of the street?
That's correct.
Was there any other officer vehicle with the lights activated?
Officer Fusco's.
So 2 police
There
vehicles?
was 2 police. Yes, ma'am.
And you said that you were almost done with that vehicle stop, correct?
That's correct.
What happened at the end of that traffic stop?
So as we're wrapping that traffic stop up, another vehicle at a very high rate of speed comes up to us. There's 3 occupants that get out of that vehicle yelling and screaming. One of the females I remember appeared to be really scared. They were talking about a shooting, but they were all talking at the same time.
After how many people got out of that vehicle that came up to you?
There was 2 black females and a black male. There were 3 altogether.
What type of vehicle was it?
It was a darkened colored car.
At 4:40 a.m. in the morning, is still dark out?
Yes.
So after they got out screaming, what happened?
They ended up getting back into their vehicle and going back in the direction that they had came from. We, at that point, followed them to the hotel,
And what hotel was that?
the Home to Suite Hotel.
How far was it from the traffic stop where you were at to the hotel, Home to Suites, and that Holiday Inn?
I can't give you an exact location. I just know it's outside of our jurisdiction, and we have a square that we're in. You have the University of South Florida. You have Fowler Avenue, Fletcher Avenue, North 50th Street, and Bruce B. Downs. We're inside of that square, and we have 1,000 feet outside. So it was over 1,000 feet.
And that area you described, that's the property of the University of South Florida and surrounding area, is that correct?
Where we were at, that was within our jurisdiction, yes.
And so USF is very close to that Home to Suites and that Holiday Inn, is that correct?
It is.
Approximately how much time did it take to you to get from the traffic stop to that Home to Suites?
Just a few minutes.
When you arrived at Home to Suites, were there other first responding law enforcement arriving simultaneously or somewhat before you?
Yeah, there was a few of them that arrived before me, but for the most part, we were all kind of arriving at the same time within minutes of each other.
What occurred when you got there?
When I got there, I exited my vehicle. We started to set up the perimeter to kind of mark off where there was a crime scene. I seen a black Charger, but then I also seen a female coming to me. She identified herself to me later as Turner, gave me her date of birth. She's crying, screaming, yelling. I couldn't make out a lot of what she was saying other than she was concerned about her boyfriend who was possibly still in the car. She described to me what her boyfriend was wearing. So
I want to stop you right there. What did she say he was wearing?
She said he was wearing red and white clothing.
Excuse me, hearsay, what's the hearsay exception?
Judge, this is an excited utterance. She's clearly described the woman's demeanor and that they had just come from a shooting, and so and we've established the timeline that this occurred right after the traffic stop where they were screaming within minutes when they are back at the scene.
Okay, overrule the objection, go ahead.
So she told me he was wearing red shorts, a white shirt, and he had on a hat. So at that point, I walked over to the vehicle to see if the individual inside, or if there was an individual inside, which there was, and he was wearing what was described to me.
At that point, there were also members of the Tampa Police Department on scene.
There was.
Was there a sergeant there that started to direct his officers into a building?
Yes.
Was there a blood trail that was near the scene of that black Charger where you had seen?
There was.
And were they going into the direction of the hotel where that blood trail was leading to?
It appeared to be, yes.
Were members of the USF Police Department, were they tasked at that point with standing by with those victims? Is that correct?
That's correct.
You said you had only made contact with the one that had identified herself as Turner. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And she also identified that was her boyfriend that was in the Dodge Charger.
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
When you went to confirm the clothing description that she had provided to you, were there any signs of life of that individual that was matching the clothing description in the black Dodge Charger?
There was not.
How close were those three occupants of that gray vehicle that you had followed over from the traffic stop? Was that vehicle parked in relation to the black Charger?
Probably from where I'm sitting to the window back there. They were kind of close.
And were those two females, the one, Miss Turner, and the other one that you did not know or make contact with, and the black male, were they in that same distance as you were and able to see the black Charger before they had been interviewed by law enforcement?
Yes.
And you have described the demeanor of Miss Turner. Can you describe the demeanor of the other female that was there as well?
It was the same as Miss Turner's. They all appeared scared. They were yelling. They were very frantic, trying to get their point across that something had happened, and they were concerned about the individual inside of the Charger.
Did USF Police Department officers have body-worn cameras?
We do.
Okay. Was yours not activated until you got on scene at the Home to Suites?
Yeah, mine, so we were concluding the traffic stop. Once we conclude any type of scene that we're doing, we normally turn our cameras off. When they arrived, everything happened so fast, I didn't turn my camera back on until I arrived at the hotel.
And you said one of the other responding officers to the Home to Suites was Officer Fusco, is that correct?
That's correct.
He also was at that traffic stop with you just prior to the gray vehicle showing up, is that correct?
That's correct.
He also has body-worn camera?
Yes, ma'am.
And was his activated still at the tail end of the traffic stop when the gray vehicle first comes on scene
Yes,
to the median where you were at the traffic stop?
I believe his was still activated.
And prior to coming to court this morning, did we ask you to look at State's Exhibit 146, a DVD showing the traffic stop and then the route to the home to suites?
Yes,
And does that, Officer Fusco, viewing that, does that fairly and accurately depict both the end of the traffic stop that occurred as well as following the vehicle to the home to suites and first arrival on scene?
it does.
Your Honor, at this time, we'd introduce into evidence State's Exhibit 146.
Okay, any objection, Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, Judge, we would object. Can we approach?
Sure. It'll be admitted.
Ms. Ismar, could you assist with me? I think I have it pulled up, but I can't. What's the volume?
I am.
Thank you. Officer Sarat, before I play this, I want to ask you about what is in the upper right-hand corner. Can you describe what is being displayed on the upper right-hand corner of the video?
Yeah, so right here, that's going to be the date and time that everything occurred when this video was recorded.
As long as we have everything that we need, paperwork, it's good to go. You're good to go to get somebody to drive the vehicle. Don't forget your belt and your items. I would just lock it up.
And Officer Sarat, is this where you are at the median with Officer Fusco's at the tail end of this traffic stop with an unrelated person? Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. Sir,
I'm going to stop it right there. And I know that he is not right next to him, to the individuals who get out of the vehicle. Is that correct?
That's correct.
But in the background, can you hear what you were describing when that vehicle first pulls up and those three individuals jump out of the vehicle and they're screaming and upset? Is that correct?
That's correct, yes, I can.
Eventually, they give you and Officer Fusco enough information, but what do they do?
They get back in their vehicle and start driving back in the direction.
And can you note the timestamp when this is occurring, when you can first hear them on scene?
0441 hours.
Officer Sarat, are you in the hotel parking lot at this point?
Yes, I'm directly behind this vehicle and my vehicle. I followed him over to the hotel.
And you said Tampa Police Department was already there?
Yes.
And is that one of the vehicles from the Tampa Police Department?
The one in front of us, it appears to be. It's not one of ours.
Officer Sarat, eventually in this video, can you be seen going in front of his camera view?
I can be, yes.
And where are you responding when you go in front of his camera view?
I'm walking towards the where the initial incident took place.
And is that all located somewhat off into the distance of where this camera is located?
Yes.
Is that you right there walking towards where they are?
That is.
And again, even though the camera is far, can you then again still hear off in the distance Ms. Turner?
I can, yes.
And were you able to see and identify her off in the video?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time we pass the witness.
Mr. Gonzalez?
One second, Your Honor, please.
Do you need
No questions, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Sonardi?
No questions, sir.
Mr. Wise? Mr. Petrides? Okay, very good. May this witness be excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Free to go.
Thank you.
All right, who's your next witness?
State recall Geraldine Nunez.